welcome to Where's Wilmington? I'm Lisa Capalla, your host for the next half an hour, and today we are very fortunate. We have three guests with us on the program. We're going to be talking about the Lions Club and what that means to you. What do the Lions do? They've got their flag here. They're all dressed up. So tonight we have with us Shirley Armland, Brian Murphy, and Elaine Lloyd, and they're going to talk to us a little bit about what it means to them to be a Lion and the organization itself. Shirley, let me start with you and tell me a little bit about how you got involved with the Lions. And you're from the Woburn chapter or Tewksbury? Tewksbury.
My daughter's a Lion in Billerica, and she's been after me for years to join the Ripper, and I wouldn't. So finally there was a party going on in Tewksbury, so she says, come and go with me.
Okay.
So I went, and I was introduced to some of the Lions. I loved them. And when I found out a little about what they did, I said, that's for me. And because I was home alone, pretty lonely, and kind of headed for depression because I was alone so much. So I said, well, I'll give it a shot and see what happens. So I took it from there, and I have not regretted 1 minute.
Excellent. So for you, the Lions Club is a social thing for you to get out.
No, not really. It's a little bit of everything. It's a social thing for me, but I enjoy helping other people. I see where I can benefit by helping others benefit. I enjoy the giving part of it. It comes back in smiles.
That's so true.
And I just enjoy doing and helping others, and it helps me at the same time.
Excellent. Brian, to dovetail on that,
Yes.
what does the Lions mean to you, and why did you get involved with them?
Well, I've been involved since 1991, but like Shirley said, it's sort of a social thing, but you can get involved. So a lot of the folks in our club, they're out there, fathers, and a lot of the kids, the sons and daughters of friends go to school together, so you see people in two different avenues. It gives us an opportunity to go out and help others and raise some money, but we have a great time. There's so many different events, and you get other Lions clubs to mingle in with you. You might have an event where you thought you're going to have 20 people show up to help, and next thing you know, 2 or 3 other clubs show up, and now there's 60 people, and you're all having a great time. It's a lot of fun. You know, the husbands, wives get involved. It is a lot of fun.
Okay. What do you think, Elaine, is the biggest misconception people have about the Lions? I mean, all I really know about them is you drive around town and you see this little area sponsored by the Lions, or you may see a flag, or you might see, like we have here today, or you might see a drive for Christmas trees or something. But what really is the core of the Lions organization?
Well, you're not alone in thinking like that, Lisa, because we are the world's greatest and biggest kept secret.
All right. Well,
we're a service organization, just like Kiwanis and Rotary.
Okay.
And I grew up with community service. My father was Kiwanis in Woburn.
Okay.
But the Lions opened their door to women before Woburn Kiwanis did. So I've been a member for 18 years.
Wow.
And we are the youngest but the largest service organization in the world. And we're in 196 countries and geographical locations at this point.
Wow.
Yes, it's pretty impressive with almost 1.4 million members. But then get back to Massachusetts, and we are broken into 5 sub-districts. And ours is the northeast section. So we have 55 clubs stretching from Salisbury down to Lynn and Nahant out to Air Shirley.
Okay.
So we have almost 2,000
people,
Lions in
So
our...
that's a pretty broad scope.
It really is.
Who can answer why we need the Lions? Why does the community need the Lions?
I'd just like to say that the Lions started in 1917, and a few years later, Helen Keller attended their international convention, and she challenged the Lions at the time. I'm not sure if Shirley knows this yet, being a new Lion, but she challenged us, I wasn't there in 1925, she challenged the Lions to become Knights of the Blind in the crusade against darkness. So our motto is we serve, and we do that on a community basis, but we also raise money for eye research, and that's to meet our goal of eliminating reversible and preventable blindness in the world.
Wow.
So we do other things with diabetes or youth programs or whatever our community needs are, but that's our main focus.
How is the Lions organization different from Kiwanis, you mentioned, other organizations? Why would I join the Lions rather than joining something else, let's say? Brian?
Well, I was, or I should say I am, past president of the Woburn Rotary Club. I was in the Rotary for 12 years. Rotary is another good group. They focus on the special needs. They're big sponsor nationwide and worldwide of the Special Olympics program. And they do a wonderful job, but they tend to meet, at least a lot of the ones that I was associated with, in the daytime.
Oh,
so depending on your schedule, that makes it a little bit tough. And from my own perspective, nothing against the Rotary, because I said I'm past president, but the Lions tend to be a little bit more of a fun type of group, a little bit more get out at night, get out on the weekends and work a little bit with the people. So as much as both groups do a lot together, they focus, everyone has a different focus. I think it's
see.
the Kiwanis, I think, with handicap, is that right?
Yes, they used to do
Yeah.
a lot with polio, they do a lot with bicycle safety, a lot of community.
wheelchair recycling and
They
things like
used
that.
to.
Yeah.
I grew up with hospital equipment because
Yeah.
my dad was part of that program.
Okay.
One of the big Lions programs is recycling eyeglasses.
Oh,
Thousands and thousands of pairs of eyeglasses, and we recycle them and send them overseas to help other countries.
excellent. As far as comparing this organization with other organizations, can someone walk me through what a Lions Club meeting would be like? What would it be like if I were to attend?
Actually,
Surely.
it's fun.
Really?
It
So
is.
what happens when I walk in? Does
They're all
someone greet
different.
me
Well,
or?
I can only speak for the Tewksbury Lions Club. We have door greeters who will meet you and welcome you in, and will show you, introduce you to some of the other people, and seat you, and to be invited for dinner, whatever. And we'll just have our usual hellos and our prayer and our pledge of the allegiance to the flag, and then we'll go over some of the things that is happening and occurring, what we need from the Lions Club, who we want to help, and it's an uplifting group. So we do a lot of good things in the community, and you just can't help but want to get more involved in it.
Right.
I could almost live it. I just don't have the time anymore. It used to be
Right.
my problem.
Tell
not
me,
anymore.
Elaine, when you become a Lion, what's the process? Okay, I go to a
Okay.
meeting, I see that everybody's nice, I want to get involved. Do I need to become a member? How does that work?
Okay, all the clubs, they range in size from very small clubs to very large or extra large, like Brian's club is over 100 members. So each club really does have a different personality.
Okay.
But the structure is basically the same as Shirley said. If you were my guest at the Woburn Middlesex Lions, we would have a dinner meeting at the Woburn Country Club, and you would come and we would do the 5 or 4-point opening with the pledge and the song and thought for the day and our Lions toast, which I think we could share with the community because it's so special, because we're not political, we're unpaid volunteers, but our toast is not above you,
Not above you, not beneath you, but with you.
Oh, how
So
nice.
it's very inclusive, and then we always have a guest speaker at our dinner meeting, and we try to have some committee reports and keep the membership involved.
Okay,
All our clubs have a board of directors
Yes.
that will meet.
That's a requirement, yeah.
Yeah, there's maybe 12 to 16 officers on the board, and they will represent the members and conduct the business of the club.
I see.
Okay? So we like people to come, as you probably do, a couple of times, get a good feel for who we are, and then it is by invitation. So one of us would sponsor you,
Right.
and you have a very meaningful induction into the club, and then an orientation. Like I said to them, my day job is human resources. It's the same thing, recruiting good people, giving them a meaningful induction, orientation, welcoming you, and getting you involved.
And it's the sponsor's responsibility to lead that new person through the steps and
Yep.
how it's run, so that they won't come in green and be left
Right.
alone with
Right.
it.
Right.
They're
Okay.
guided through it. It's a very good organization.
We're kind of looking for people who want to come in and get involved and be involved. Not somebody who wants to come in to say, hey, I'm in the Lions Club, do business with me, or I'm in the Lions Club,
Right.
I'm running for political
Right,
office.
right.
We're looking for workers and involved people.
I'm glad you mentioned that,
Yeah.
Brian, because when we think of these organizations, at least from my point of view, the 80s was networking.
Right.
You joined these
Right.
organizations because you own your own business
Yes.
and you want to network, but you're saying it's broader scope than that
Right.
now,
I mean,
at least to you personally.
Well,
all
not
of us.
personally. In our club, when someone says, I want to join, our first response is, why?
Right.
Who do you know? Why would you want to join? So the question comes back to you, what do you want to get out of this? Or what do you think it's going to get out of for you?
Right. Or what
Right.
can you bring to the table, too?
Exactly.
You
Do you have a contact? Do you have a particular skill? Are you good at building something? Are you good with computer skills? What can you do for us?
Right.
You know, it's one thing to put people on the rolls. It's one
Right.
thing to get someone to show up once a month. Some of the clubs meet once or twice a month.
Right.
We're one of the last, the Woburn Host Club, which I'm with, is one of the last ones that meets every week, 52 weeks
Wow.
a year. It's a huge commitment.
And you want people that are going to be committed. There's nothing worse than
Right.
having
Right.
a roster of folks and nobody
Right.
wants to do anything.
when-
Sounds like you're all very active go-getters.
Yeah, when the
Yes.
same 10 people keep doing every event and there's 100 people behind
Right.
you, you start to wonder.
Right.
So in all the clubs, everyone's broken into a committee, and you're assigned, or you choose one or two committees, and then you're expected to focus and be right
Now,
there.
is there a fee or a dues membership,
Yes.
and how does that work?
Yes,
Elaine,
it works
if you could tell
different in
us.
each club.
Yeah.
As Brian said, he meets weekly, and they prepay a portion of their meals. My club has an annual dues, which is quite reasonable, and then we pay for our dinner meeting, or we don't if we don't choose to go.
Okay.
So it's as much or as little as you'd want it to be, like anything.
And I assume this is a tax write-off?
No.
No, it's not. Well, we need to do
The
something about
charitable
that.
part
Now, if you
would be...
donate money
Okay.
to a cause, fine, but your dues
Right.
is not deduction.
Okay, so
And
we
we
cleared
pay
that
just
up.
like
That's
everybody
good.
else.
Right.
You
Yes.
pay just like
But
everybody
the one
else.
thing though is you should think, to be committed in Lions, any one of the clubs,
Right.
it's not like it's $10 or $20 a year. It's several $100s to be a member and then to participate in the monthly or weekly meetings you come to. And then when there's raffles, whatever, you're expected to help out. So it's a little, a little costly.
But it's as much as you want it to be,
Right.
because his
Yeah.
club meets weekly. Our dues are $75 a year, so
Right.
that's really not a lot.
Okay.
Well, here's a
and,
contrast. Ours is $220.
Yeah, so,
Okay, but it's, you're getting
Each
different
club,
things for each club
right.
too.
It
yeah.
depends.
yeah.
Now, do you
really
have
does
to be a
depend.
resident of the town
No.
where your club?
No.
So how would I decide which
You-
club was for me?
It could be where you work, it could be the community you live in.
Or the person who sponsors you.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's open, and our members, if they move away, we transfer them to clubs, because we're
Yeah.
international.
Which is pretty nice. So if you go on
can
go
vacation,
anywhere.
you can
We can
go and
visit a
check
club.
out how the other clubs
You
run.
make a visitation to a local club, and they'll give you a little card saying
Yeah.
you were here, and you bring it back, and you give it to your secretary, now you get counted for a member, for a
Yeah.
meeting.
Excellent.
Yes, because they have awards for various things. One of them is 100% attendance. If you should make up all the meetings, let's say, like Elaine said, they meet twice a month.
Right.
Well, if they go to the board meeting and the dinner meeting every month, then they're in Florida and they check in with 2 clubs. And they go to a couple of board meetings, and they go to another, say, a parade meeting or a convention meeting. All of that together might equal the amount of members, meetings every
Right.
day, every year, and they consider 100% attendance. They get an award for that.
So you're very organized
That's the-
between
Oh,
groups
yes.
too, which is
That's the
super
fun
important.
part,
Yep.
is the fellowship that we share. I wear my Lions pin daily,
Yep.
and I bring Lionism into a conversation daily, and it's amazing. On
Yep.
one hand, we're the best kept secret,
Right.
but on the other hand, my favorite story about the Wilmington Lions, and that's what we're here to talk about mainly today, to restart this wonderful club. They were chartered this month, April 22nd in 1954.
By my
Wow.
club, by my club.
By the
Yeah.
woman host.
Oh,
So
wow.
over 50 years of community service, and as life goes in cycles, so do memberships in
Right.
clubs, not just Lions, but all the organizations. So they've dwindled down the past few years, and as we said, that core group, they're really tired of being it.
Right.
So we're helping
You
them
can't do it
to-
all, one
Right.
person.
Now-
Shirley, you can't do it all.
Now Tewksbury is
sponsoring.
sponsoring now.
Yeah.
To try to
We're
get it
trying to
going.
get it
Excellent,
going.
and that's why you folks are here
That's
today.
why we're
Right.
here today.
All right.
I live in Woburn, but I've worked in Wilmington for 14 years, and both communities are very community-oriented and a lot of spirit and a lot of pride.
Excellent.
The Wilmington Lions came to my club, my house, my place of business. I lost my train of thought. Because we had the iMobile, we have a district iMobile, and we do free screenings, eye and hearing.
Right.
And the Wilmington Lions came down and we screened about 40 employees and detected some areas of concern with people.
And that's
So-
what got you on board?
Oh, no, I was a Lion. I've been a Lion for 18 years.
I think you
I
were
just-
born a lion.
I just,
Elaine. We're going to take our
Promoted.
He was
midpoint
born a
break.
Kiwani and became.
There you
Yeah.
go, there you go. You
Yeah.
just didn't have your roar. We're going
Yeah.
to take a break right now, and we'll be back with more of Where's Wilmington with my 3 distinguished guests today from the Lions Club. We have Shirley Ormland, Brian Murphy, and Elaine Lloyd, and we'll be back with more right after this.
May I have your attention, please? Would the owner of the spare tire, slightly hairy, with a little brown mole to the left of the belly button, it's an innie. Please report to the press box and retrieve your appendage. Oh, they must have lost this parking further away from the stadium and walking in. Yeah. Okay, we're back to the action.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Haddad of Pack 136, and you are watching WCTV Wilmington Community Television.
Hi, welcome back to Where's Wilmington. I'm Lisa Capalla, and today I have the distinct pleasure of having 3 Lions with me. We have Shirley Armland, Brian Murphy, and Elaine Lloyd. Elaine, before we took the break, we were talking a little bit about Wilmington getting restarted in the Lions
Yes.
venue. Can you really tell us about the push for that and why you feel that's so important? Because that's really why you folks came out and gave us your time today.
It is, it is. As I mentioned, we have 55 clubs in our district, and Wilmington has a long, proud history of Lionism. And during the break, Lion Tom Pizzera, past president of Wilmington, came into the studio. And I'm wearing the Wilmington Lions pin. We all design our own pins. And I mentioned fellowship, that we are a large worldwide organization. I was at a local restaurant in Woburn on the Wilmington line one time with my daughter, and this gentleman went by with a Lions jacket. So of course, I wear my pin and I got excited, and I said to my daughter, he could be from anywhere in the world, you know, this hotel's all over the area. So she said, oh no, you're gonna talk to him? I said, yes. So I said, hello. I said, I'm Elaine Lloyd from the Woburn Middlesex Lions. And I expected maybe he was from England or Germany or someplace. And he said, hi, I'm Tom Pizzera from the Wilmington Lions. And that was a number of years ago.
Small world.
Right. So I got to know the club, and as I say, they came down to Neo-Resins and worked the iMobile. The reason we want to start them, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank Lion Dennis Toscano of the Tewksbury Lions and Lion Shirley and their committee. They have been the impetus that has been driving this restart, this re-energizing of the club. All the local businesses, the public library, the town hall have wonderful literature with contact information that we'll say later to restart this club, and a number of calls have come in from people.
So basically it's dormant right now? There are members that aren't
It's a little dormant
active?
right
or-
now, yes, and so they're ready to come back when we rebuild and re-energize the club. So, as I said, Wilmington's a very community-oriented community.
So if I had a magic wand and I could give you anything you wanted
Yes.
from our viewership today, what would you really be asking of folks?
New members, people interested in joining Lions Clubs International, specifically the Wilmington Lions Club, or any of our clubs. But that's what our focus is today.
Now, I know you have a website, and I want to say that's lionsclub.org, Brian?
Lionsclubs.org.
Okay.
And
Would
from that
that
you
be-
can get, it's Lions International of the world, but you can click on the English section and get right into the Massachusetts clubs.
Okay, and that would give you a good overview of the history.
Yes.
Now, we mentioned earlier that there's a Pledge of Allegiance that goes on, there's a prayer. So is this non-denominational and not politically affiliated? We want to make sure we make that distinction.
Right, that's just
right?
an opening, a structure that the clubs use. It's called a 4-point opening, just to bring structure to the meetings. But we don't bring religious or politics
No.
into our meetings in any way, shape,
No,
or
in
form.
fact, in the bylaws, it states that you shall
Right.
not discuss
Right.
politics or religion at the table.
Yes.
And each group is self-supporting,
Yes.
Correct.
too?
Yes.
Okay.
Through fundraising.
Right, well, self-supporting, but yet they all
dues.
contribute to the Mass Lions and Lions
Okay.
International.
Okay.
Each club is its own entity.
Now, let's talk about some of the programs that the Lions are into, and Brian, we'll get you to tell us about
Well-
that. We've talked about the eyeglasses. I know
Right.
we've all seen the Christmas trees, but I'm sure there's bigger things that you folks are
Right.
doing than
Some
that.
clubs do Christmas trees.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing, too.
Well, it is. In Massachusetts, we're fortunate to have several iMobiles, which the different clubs sponsor and pay for. This is a Winnebago-style truck, if you will,
Yep.
that will show up to an event sponsored by Alliance, and they'll give free hearing, free eye screening right on site.
Wow.
They could do 10 people, they could do 100 people. It's all free, and they give you a report you can go back and take back to a doctor for a further exam. And they've spotted many cases of glaucoma that you'd be amazed,
So it's
especially in
really
children.
important.
Yeah, it's very good. They'll do other things too. In our club down in Woburn, we run a parade every year for the Halloween.
Okay.
We do Christmas party for children. They'll run pancake breakfast, bean suppers. Elaine's club runs a chili cook-off. It's very popular. It's right on 128. Attracts a lot of people. They'll go out and do things for the community, focusing on the youth, focusing on the elderly. In our district, in 33, we benefit that Lions International of the World. We have the only program that anyone around here has ever heard of in Lions of the World, where we will donate a piece of equipment to someone who has trouble seeing.
Wow.
Whether it be any age, doesn't matter, and income isn't an issue. If you
And
need
anywhere.
this, yeah, you need to need this particular item, you know, someone comes to the Lions, through usually a school nurse or a doctor or something, and we'll provide you this magnified reading piece of equipment. In Woburn, there's one at the public library, free to use. We also do a lot of large print books. A lot of the Lions clubs do that, donate to the library.
So you bring up an interesting point. If I know someone who's in need,
Right.
how do I get the services from the Lions Club to the person? How does that work?
Well, one of the things, again, I can speak from the program that's pre-set up in Woburn. All of the nurses or principals at every school in town, even the Catholic school in town, know the contact number for the sight person at the Lions. So if there's a child who needs glasses or an exam, or perhaps a doctor or an eyeglass specialist in town who knows an elderly person needs some help, they'll just call into the Lions, and one of us will speak to them and go see them.
Excellent. And we're going to put that number and the email address for
it's
Dennis
for the-
Toscano up on the screen.
Right,
So if
that's the
folks
phone
are
number for
interested
Wilmington,
in
right.
either joining the Lions or getting more information or getting services to someone, that would be the first place to start.
Sure.
We're listed in the local community phone books. It may be outdated sometimes, but there's always contact information.
Okay?
Usually
I
the
think they
town
could
hall
probably-
would know.
I think they could probably get the information too from most any optometrist.
Yes.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
the doctors would have that
Because
information as
that's
well?
what we deal with is the eyes.
Okay.
And we have a program with LensCrafters too. We'll
Yes,
refer people and they
nationwide.
will, yeah.
Excellent.
People
What's-
donate glasses to the different Lions clubs, or they can leave them at a Lens Crafters, and
Yeah.
they'll still go to the same program.
What's going to be the future of the Lions Club? What do we hope for? Who can speak to that?
To eliminate blindness.
And the
Well,
world.
that would be lovely, and that's a lofty goal,
to
and I
help the
certainly
hearing
hope you
so
can do that.
everyone possibly can hear.
That would
It
be
is a
good.
lofty goal, but when we go to our midwinter conventions and conferences and our state convention, we always hear research doctors from Scapin's Eye Research Institute or Mass Eye and Ear, or a number of different institutions, and it is so amazing, and it makes
Yeah.
us so proud because the people in the community want to know what we would do with the money that they give us.
Right.
And then we, as Lions, hear what the researchers do. For instance, at our midwinter conference, there was a doctor, and they're working on a corneal transplant. And we learned there were 3 layers. I won't go into the details, but the middle layer is made up of collagen. And they're working with the Department of Defense. And our service people, they have a bandage that they'll be able to put on a service person until they can get them safely to an eye doctor or a hospital. This bandage is so futuristic, it will tell if the eye is inflamed, it'll release anti-inflammatories. If it's infected, it'll release antibiotics. So when we hear what our money does,
Right.
we have a group called Mass Lions Eye Research, Inc. that was started in the 50s. And most of the clubs in our district and in the state will donate to that one fund. And we raise $1 million a year for that one fund.
Right.
And that's research money.
That's a good amount of money.
The first Lions grant solved baby blindness
Right.
with a
Wow.
25-cent valve because they determined by a doctor having lunch with a lion and talking about it, they determined too much oxygen was getting into the incubators. And so that was the first Mass
Right.
Lions Eye grant.
So the point I guess you're trying to make is you really never know what your involvement,
know.
what it's really going to do.
Exactly.
So,
Well, here's
and
an
lots of
example.
people say they have no time,
Well-
but it's nice to know that you can be involved with something and give your time to something that's really going to make a big difference. Brian, you wanted to add?
Well, as far as the Lions go, all year long, all the Lions in the state give money to different things like Mass Eye Research Fund.
Yes.
The hospital gets quite a few, as well as Scapin's. This year, Lions of the World have a convention, and it's being held in Boston. They meet
Oh, great.
someplace in the world every year. Well, here it is coming to Boston. And
That's exciting.
Well, the dilemma was it was originally headed for New Orleans, and all of a sudden it's up here.
Katrina.
So we didn't have the 6 years to plan, as everyone else did. We had a year. And you got to raise a lot of money. So it became a problem. How do you raise that much money that quick without sacrificing some of the other programs?
Right.
Well, there was a meeting. Some people from Mass Eye and Ear sat there, some of the directors, and they were listening to the concerns and not wanting to not give money to Mass Eye and Ear. And a few minutes later, one of the directors wrote out a check, and it funded the better portion of, or the lion's share, I'll say,
Yes.
of the
Excellent.
convention this year. Staggering amount of money. But he knew that if he didn't help, the Lions' money would go to the convention instead of where it's needed. So it was kind of like
Right.
him giving back to us.
And that's pretty
is
unusual
nice.
because a lot of
Very nice.
service organizations with the large disasters we've seen, you know, the money has to come from somewhere to go somewhere else. So it's good to see that your organization really,
Well,
handled things a little
Katrina,
differently.
and as well as the tsunami that happened.
Yep.
The Lions
9/11.
International had cash on site with people in 72 hours.
Yes.
staggering amounts of money on site.
And that's why you're all committed
That's
to what you're
Lions
doing.
Club.
The Lions were right there,
International.
personally affected.
Before we at a local level even can think about it, International Foundation is
Right
there with the funds.
Excellent.
So-
Now, I want to comment on your outfits. You're all wearing Lions Club logo gear. How do I get my Lions Club gear? What do I have to do to get those outfits?
So, yeah.
Okay, but I see that you have the vest, you have the
Well, this is typical
golf
because
shirt.
This is-
you have a pins, like a pin vest, I guess you'd call that.
Right.
Okay.
We collect different pins from all different clubs and wherever, and we attach them to this. But this is something that our club wears at all the meetings, when we're in the parade, anytime, to point out that we're Lions.
So you have your main Lions pin on your left-hand side there, I can see. And then the ones on the other side
The
would be
trade.
places you
That's just
visited?
where I happen to
Yeah,
put them.
no,
I don't know
that's
if that's
great.
the right spot or not.
And then you just have Mr.
Well,
Golf attire over here.
Yeah, this is golf. This is my Woburn Lions Parade Chairman shirt.
Do you get one of the nice plume hats?
No, we don't have. That'd be,
Okay.
that'd be
The
I guess
nice-
Jackie Gleason would
Yeah.
have had
Yeah, I was
something
thinking
like
as the
that.
Grand Marshal, you
Yeah,
could have.
no, we don't have that. No, no.
Okay.
But our club has just different clothes, different shirts for different
But
events.
that's nice,
Yeah.
because that makes it easy, not that you would have an issue, Elaine, but to bring up Lions Club in front of people.
Yes.
Sure.
It gives you an opening to do that.
Sure,
And you just
sure.
have the traditional pin.
I wore the traditional pin. I didn't want to frighten people that were some kind of an organization
Right.
that's
This
hokey
isn't a
with-
cult.
with the
It's
uniforms
a
and
nice
everything.
organization.
No,
But
you
we
can
do-
wear whatever.
We
Yeah.
take much pride in Lionism,
Yeah.
and I wear a pin every day, and on casual days, I'll have Lions a denim shirt with Team Boston for the
And
convention.
you
or
did say that each
whatever.
organization designs their own
The
specific
pins,
pin.
yes,
Right,
and they
pin.
trade them. We
Yes.
have 22,000 Lions expected in Boston,
Wow.
and there'll be a lot of pin trading.
Yes.
Now, will Wilmington be making a new pin for the organization?
We don't
Or are
know.
they
They're
going to
Not
keep?
this year,
That's
but we're
up to
hoping.
their
them.
choice.
That's up to
Really?
them. They
Yeah.
have the Baldwin apple on this one, so
Now, that would be pretty interesting.
It
We'll
is.
have to see
Yes.
what goes on. Is there an age limit or an age requirement to join the Lions?
I think you have to be at least 18.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have to be at least less than 100.
Okay.
It could be 100, I guess.
Okay,
We're
that's
just looking for
great.
someone to be active.
right.
So the age limit is, basically looking for a competent adult, if you will.
Right. Anything final, each of you, I'll give you a chance that you'd like to say to our listeners today to let them know what you really want them to know while you're here.
I think
Right.
maybe perhaps that the Lions do a lot for those less fortunate than us.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun.
It
And you
is
won't
fun.
be sorry if you get involved.
Okay. Shirley, anything you'd like our big
I would- I
fans
would
out
ju-
there to know?
I would just like people to know that their Lions Club is here, and that they tell their friends about it, get the word out, so that we can
Right.
get it started and get it going. Because we're willing to put a lot of work into it, but we need help from the Wilmington people. We want them to reach
Right.
back and help us to
Right.
do it.
And if Wilmington
Right.
says they want it, then they've got to put their money and their
That's right.
energy behind it.
We're willing to
That's what
help,
we
but
need.
they have to
Right.
come forward.
Right.
We'd like to thank Wilmington Cable and you, Lisa.
Oh, of course.
And the
My
committee in
pleasure.
Tewksbury for the opportunity to talk about Lionism
Of course.
today and to
Now,
promote it
where will the Wilmington Lions Club be?
wherever they decide.
So we don't know
They pick
yet.
the location.
They could meet in the
All right.
school, or they could meet at Rocco's, or
When we
wherever.
get it going, would you agree to come back and talk to us
Yes.
about that?
Absolutely,
Yeah, we're
Yes.
gonna have some informational
That'd be
nights.
great.
We're thinking maybe a cookout or something to get
Okay.
people friendly and
So
come
we can
together.
put that information on our television station
Oh,
here.
that'd be
Folks
great.
can get a hold of you.
Yes.
We'll also put up the information on the screen for folks about how they can get in touch
Yeah,
with
if
you
they
with
just
the
call Dennis
website.
or email Dennis, we'll
Yes.
We'll put
coordinate
that
that.
information up
Find
for you.
Dennis.
Sure.
Thank you all for being with us, Elaine
Thank you
Lloyd,
for
Brian
having us.
Murphy, and
Yep.
Shirley Ormland. And they are all of the Lions Club. And thank you also for watching our program today. If you'd like to be a guest on Where's Wilmington, just give us a call here at 978-657-4066. We'd love to have you. And thanks again for being here for Where's Wilmington. I'm Lisa Capalla. Until next time.